Hey everybody, it's me, an obsessed Rangers fan. I am back with another video. Crazy, but back with another video. This video I hinted at in my last video, my power rankings. If you haven't watched that, go watch that. This video is the MLB All-Star Game rosters and who I think are some of the biggest snubs. So yeah, this is a list of snubs. We'll get to those after I tell you the starters and reserves. American League starting catcher is Alejandro Kirk of the Toronto Blue Jays. Backup is Jose Trevino of the New York Yankees. First base, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. of the Toronto Blue Jays as well. And backup is Luis Arias of the Minnesota Twins. Second base, Jose Altuve of the Houston Astros, and Andres Jimenez is the backup, playing for the Cleveland Guardians. Third base is Rafael Devers of the Boston Red Sox, and backup is a player for the Cleveland Guardians named Jose Ramirez. Shortstop for the Chicago White Sox, it is Tim Anderson, and the backup plays for the Boston Red Sox, and his name is Xander Bogaerts. And the outfielders are Aaron Judge of the New York Yankees, Mike Trout, LA Angels, and outfielder Giancarlo Stanton, also of the New York Yankees. And then we have a few backup outfielders. Outfielder Byron Buxton of the Minnesota Twins, Kyle Tucker of the Houston Astros, George Springer of the Toronto Blue Jays, Andrew Benintendi of the Kansas City Royals, and Julio Rodriguez of the Seattle Mariners. And then the DH is, or DH slash pitcher is Shohei Ohtani of the LA Angels, and backup was Yordan Alvarez, but he's injured. And so the replacement player is J.D. Martinez of the Boston Red Sox. And then the starting pitchers are Shane McClanahan of the Tampa Bay Rays, Justin Verlander of the Houston Astros, Alek Mono of the Toronto Blue Jays, Nestor Cortez and Garrett Cole of the New York Yankees. Again, Shohei Ohtani of the LA Angels, Paul Blackburn of the Oakland Athletics, Martin Perez of the Texas Rangers, and Framber Valdez of the Houston Astros. And then relievers are Clay Holmes of the New York Yankees, Emmanuel Clase of the Cleveland Guardians, Jorge Lopez of the Baltimore Orioles, and Gregory Soto of the Detroit Tigers. And then there's also this new thing from the collective bargaining agreement. Wild Manfred can choose one legacy player, and for the American League, that is Miguel Cabrera. And then in the National League, starting catcher is Wilson Contreras of the Chicago Cubs. And then the backup is Travis d'Arnaud of the Atlanta Braves. Starting first baseman, Paul Goldschmidt of the St. Louis Cardinals. And backup is the first baseman of the New York Mets, Pete Alonso. And there's actually one more reserve player, because, there's a rule where every team has to have at least one all-star, and that's C.J. Cron of the Colorado Rockies. Starting second baseman plays the Miami Marlins. His name is Jazz Chisholm Jr. Happy he started. And backup is the New York Mets second baseman, Jeff McNeil. Starting third baseman is Manny Machado of the San Diego Padres, and his backup is Nolan Arenado of the St. Louis Cardinals. Starting shortstop is Trey Turner of the LA Dodgers, and then his backup is Atlanta Braves shortstop Dansby Swanson. The starting outfielders are Ronald Acuna Jr. of the Atlanta Braves, Mookie Betts of the LA Dodgers, and Jock Peterson of the San Francisco Giants. And then the backups are Kyle Schwarber of the Philadelphia Phillies, Starling Marte of the New York Mets, Ian Happ of the Chicago Cubs, and Juan Soto of the Washington Nationals. And then the starting DH is Bryce Harper of the Philadelphia Phillies. Backup, William Contreras of the Atlanta Braves will start with Harper sidelined. And then the backup to William Contreras is Garrett Cooper. And then the legacy player of the National League is Albert Pujols of the St. Louis Cardinals. So those are the starters. I'll give you one last second to look at it here. Oh, and then I forgot to. Why didn't it have the? Oh, okay, never mind. Okay, forgot about it. The starting pitchers in the National League are Sandy Alcantara of the Marlins, or Miami Marlins, Corbin Burns of the Milwaukee Brewers, Joe Musgrove of the San Diego Padres, Max Fried of the Atlanta Braves, Tony Gonsolin of the LA Dodgers, Luis Castillo of the Cincinnati Reds, and Clayton Kershaw of the LA Dodgers, and Carlos Rodon of the San Francisco Giants. And relievers are Josh Hader of the Milwaukee Brewers, Edwin Diaz of the New York Mets, Ryan Hesley of the St. Louis Cardinals, David Bednar of the Pittsburgh Pirates, and Joe Mantipley of the Arizona Diamondbacks. And then there's a look at the NL pitchers. Alright, now we get to move on to what this video is kind of mainly about, the snubs. Snubs. Okay. First player I have is a bit of a kind of a shaky one. The starting shortstop for the American League was Tim Anderson. He honestly didn't really deserve it. It was Xander Bogaerts definitely deserved it, and this player honestly should have been the backup to him. Carlos Correa having a pretty good year. Has a 2.2 WAR, 248 in 248 at-bats. He has 69 hits, 10 home runs. He has 31 RBIs. Has scored 37 runs. Has a 278 average. 351 on base percentage, 452 slugging, and an 803 OPS. Roxy, what are you doing? Next player I have is Will Smith, catcher of the LA Dodgers. Carlos Correa has a 132 OPS plus, which is, I believe, most of all of shortstops, I think. And then next player, Will Smith of the LA Dodgers, has a 2.2 WAR in 257 at-bats. He has 66 hits, 13 home runs, 33 RBIs, 42 RBIs, 33 runs scored. Has a 257 average, 348 on base percentage, 451 slugging, and 799 OPS. And has a 121 OPS plus, or I guess also WRC plus, but it's kind of the same thing. That way. Next player I have is Dylan Cease, pitcher of the Chicago White Sox. He has a 7-4 record with a 2.45 ERA. 17 games started. Has pitched 92 innings, has 133 strikeouts, and a 1.228 whip. Dylan Cease has amazing strikeouts. He's only, in the American League, he's only behind the best pitcher in the American League this year, Shane McClanahan. But he's having an unbelievable year. I don't know how he gets snubbed so much, or how he got snubbed. This next player is, this one's kind of hard to, really to put in, because, this next player is a first baseman of the Washington Nationals, and the first baseman was Paul Goldschmidt. Definitely deserved it. Pete Alonso also deserved the backup. And then there was C.J. Cron, but that's because every player has to have at least one All-Star, and he was the player. But there was also two other first basemen that I feel like kind of deserved to be in there a little bit, and that was Freddie Freeman and Josh Bell. I think Josh Bell's having the better year. He has a 3.1 WAR and 316 at-bats. He has 12 home runs, has 68 hits, has scored 42 runs, has 30... Wait, no, that's... No. No. And has a 3.1 WAR and 316 at-bats. He has 12 home runs, 96 hits, has 47 RBIs, has scored 44 runs, has a 304 average, 318 on base percentage, 491 slugging, and 877 OPS. So he's having a unbelievable year, but that's only because, I mean, he's only out because of the rule where every team has to have one All-Star, and that went with that because C.J. Cron, the one Rockies representative. So it's kind of confusing there, but I mean, he did kind of deserve to be in there. And he also had a 154 OPS plus, which is really good. Next player is like a tough one because I mean he's it's Taylor Ward of the LA Angels. He has a 2.5 WAR, has 230 at-bats, has 12 home runs, 68 hits, 42 runs scored, 34 RBIs, has a 296 average, 387 on-base percentage, 517 slugging, and a 905 OPS. Also has stolen 2 bases, but it's tough because him and Jock Peterson have like the exact same amount at bats. And there's people that are having numbers like almost exactly kind of like Taylor Ward that aren't in, but Taylor Ward honestly should probably be the starter over Giancarlo Stanton. I think people didn't vote him, one, because, I mean, it's a all-star voting at this point. It's honestly a popularity test. He should have been in there, and he plays for a bad team, but he really should have been the starter over Giancarlo Stanton. But it's just confusing. Next player I have is Kevin Gausman of the... Who does he play for? No, he doesn't. He plays for the... Kevin Gausman of the Toronto Blue Jays. He had a rough start, kind of a roughish start to the season, but he's still having a great year. Has a 6-6 record, a 2.86 ERA, and 16 starts. Has 88 innings pitched, 100 strikeouts, and a 1.273 WHIP. So having a good year. I feel like people are kind of thinking about the start he had, which it wasn't a bad start. It was just kind of a rough start compared to how he's pitching now, but it just like not good. Next player I have is it's another tough one because I mean he's having a fantastic year, but again he's a third baseman. There's already 2 third basemen in, and they're both having, I guess, better years. He's having an unbelievable year though. It's Austin Riley of the Atlanta Braves. Has a 3.3 WAR in 337 at-bats, has 24 home runs, 95 hits, 51 runs scored, 57 RBIs, has 2 stolen bases, a 282 average, 348 on base percentage, has a 564 slugging, and a 907 OPS, and has a 282 average, if I didn't already say that. But the thing is, he's a third baseman, and there's already 2 other third basemen who are having, I guess, better years than him, but just he really should be in there. I mean, he's having a fantastic year once again. I mean, the Braves still a great team, but he's been a massive part to that. Next player, we're my Jonah Heim Ranger fans. Jonah Heim is a massive snub. It is just unbelievable. Jonah Heim, or Austin Riley has a 147 OPS plus. Oh God. Jonah Heim has a 2.0 WAR. In 214 at-bats, has 12 home runs, 57 hits, 32 runs scored, 31 RBIs, has stolen 2 bases, has a 266 average, 318 on-base percentage, 477 slugging, and a 794 OPS, and has a 124 OPS plus. Jonah Heim should be the starter over, not the starter, should be the reserve over Jose Trevino. Not knocking off of Jose Trevino, because, he's still having a great year. But Jonah Heim has been better in every category except maybe defense, but it's the All-Star game. Who cares about defense? Nobody. So that's why I'm going with my boy Jonah Heim as a big snub, which he is. Now we are getting down to the final 2 players. This next player I have is Zach Wheeler of the Philadelphia Phillies. He has pitched amazing. Has a 8-4 record. Or Zach Wheeler or Aaron Nola honestly could have been in there, but I feel like Zach Wheeler's having a better year. Again, has an 8-4 record, 2.46 ERA, and 16 starts. Has a 1.053 WHIP. Has 104 strikeouts in 95 innings pitched. Having a unbelievable. He had a Cy Young year last year, and he's just doing it again this year. So kind of just unbelievable why he isn't in there. And then this last one is also tough because it's another National League third baseman, which, it's just tough because, after the 2 third basemen, they're already starting. Austin Riley ahead as a snub, also a third baseman, and this next player, Brandon Drury, is also a National League third baseman, but has a 1.6 WAR in 293 at-bats, has 18 home runs, 81 hits, 53 runs, 50 RBIs, has stolen 2 bases, has a 276 average, 334 on-base percentage, 536 slugging, and 870 OPS, and a 130 OPS plus. This Reds team would be nowhere without Brandon Drury. He is having a crazy good year, but again, he's a third baseman and the National League third baseman. Manny Machado and Nolan Arenado are having the best years out of the NL third baseman. Austin Riley is right behind them, and then Brandon Drury is probably next, but just National League third baseman. It's the tough situation. And that's gonna be it for this video. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We had a total of 10 players. There was a few other players that I feel like were like other snubs, but I feel like they, but that's the end of this video. Another long video. Sorry about these long videos. They take a while to just actually upload, and then I'm actually recording this video on the what is today? Tuesday, July 12th. I'm recording this video on July the 12th. This video will come out on Wednesday, July the 13th, but if their stats are different, that's why. But again, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you liked it, comment if you think there are any other snubs, and subscribe to my channel, road to 50 subscribers. And me and Roxy will see y'all last time, and as always, go Rangers and F you Astros. Peace.